Agitevach, Mazel Digevach, Avach, Fill mit Yeshia. Wow. Week 3 in the books. Pashas Mishpatim. We just finished Shabbos. Incredible. And we were Makabel the Torah. Nasev and Ishma. Okay. Who would have thought 3 weeks ago, this is where we'd be at. 3 weeks down. Everyone's really going strong. Keep up the Chazara. All right. So we're going to do a weekly review. And we're going to start, again, from Chafal from the Beis on the bottom by the Mishnah. So let's jump back into it, do the review, try to keep it short, simple, and smooth. I know we had all the Lavud and Chavay Rami, all that, but let's get back to the basics, short and simple, and Amir Tashem on Monday, we'll re-explain it, go into the new sugya, and it'll be really gishmak. Zog the Heilige Mishnah. Hasoymech sukase b'kar amita. Someone who puts the schach on the bedpost, ksher, it's kosher. Rabbi Yehuda says, psula, if it can't stand on its own, it's possible. Meaning, if you were to remove the bed and the which the bedpost go with it, the schach would not be able to stand on its own. It is no good. So now we want to understand. The Gemara is going to start. What's the reason for Rabbi Yehuda? My time with Rabbi Yehuda. So we have two people who explain Rabbi Yehuda's shita. Pligi bar Reb Zera v'Rabbi Abba bar Mamel. They both argued. Chad amar mepnei shein lo keva. One says the reason why it's not good to be stam on a bedpost is because it's not keva. V'chad amar, meaning again, a bed's movable. You move the bed around, and like we said, a boat, even though it moves, but it's on that area, it's not moving. Here, the entire structure is moving. V'chad amar mepnei shema'amida b'davar makabel tumah. One says it's because you're putting it onto a bed which is Mekabel Tumah, so that could be a problem. Now, my bainayo, what's the difference between these two shittas? Maybe it's all the same thing. Okay, Mekabel Tumah or movable, they're no good. Is there a scenario that there would be a difference between the two on how you hold? So we're going to see. Kigoin, so the scenario is Shenatz b'shapudin, that he planted spikes into the ground, shal barzel, iron spikes, v'sikech alein, and he put the schach on top of them. So now, again, planted, let's say, 4 spikes. He puts the schach, rolls it out on top of it. So now, we're going to see what the difference is. According to the Manda Amar that said the bed is movable, okay, here this is not movable, so great, it should be kosher. So, but according to the Manda Amar that says, you're putting it on a bed which is Mekabel Tumah, and therefore it's no good. Here, this case of putting the 4 posts into the ground and rolling the schach on top of it, if they're iron posts, it's Davar Mekabel Tumah, it's no good. So you see that would be a scenario that would be different. According to the one that iron spikes is Mekabel Tumah, it is Mekabel Tumah, but according to the one that the problem was that of Mekabel Tumah with the bed, it's no good. And according to the one that the reason of Rabbi Yehuda is because it's movable, it would be good, the iron spikes case. Okay. Amar Abaya. Abaya says, he's further clarifying, Lo shanu ela samach aval sikech al gav hamita kshera. This that we said, that it's no good, is when he puts it directly on the bed. But if you put it on top, not directly on top of the bed, like we said, there's sort of going to be the 4 posts, let's say, of, instead of iron spikes, you're going to say wooden spikes, which is not Mekabel Tumah. You roll it out on top, and then you have a bed beneath it. That would be fine, according to Abaya. The fee kshera, that would be kosher. My time, what's the reason? L'manda amar lefi she'ein lo keva, hariyesh lo keva. According to the Manda Amar that there is no keva, in this case, there is keva. Again, we're talking about wooden spikes, not iron spikes. So, it's keva. I'm sorry, it's irrelevant in the spikes, but according to the keva, it's keva. Therefore, it would be good, according to the one that the iron spikes or the bed is Mekabel Tumah. Here, if you have those 4 posts, and we show the picture of sort of those 3 beds standing sideways, and there's a separate frame that had the schach on top of it, then it would be fine, and that's what he's saying over here. Nu sugya. We're moving to Chav Beis Amud Aleph. The Mishnah says like this: Sukkah ha'amid dov leles. Sukkah midavlelas, this really threw a lot of us off, but we're going to try to get through it and say it as extremely simple as possible. Sukkah midavlelas, the word midavlelas has two explanations. One is according to Rav, and one is according to Shmuel. According to Shmuel, midavlelas, he translated it into midbolbelas. According to Rav, midoldelas. So the word midavlelas has two meanings. Meaning number one, not meanings, two ways to translate it. The taich is, according to Shmuel, midbolbelas, confused, like we were a little bit, and according to Rav, midoldelas, poor. So now, sukkah midavlelas, vishatzilas u'muva mechamasa, ksher is kosher. Hamuva kimin bayis, if, on to the second part of the Mishnah, if you have the ceiling that is min neschach, is so thick that it's like a ceiling, even if the stars cannot be seen through it, it's kosher. Even though it's so packed, so thick, and we see this sometimes, mamish layers and layers, it's fine. Now, Zog de Gemara. Zog de Gemara. My midavlelas. What is midavlelas? That's the $1 million question. Amar Rav, sukkah aniya. Rav says midavlelas, sukkah aniya. It's a poor sukkah, like we said, a lot of gaps. Shmuel Amar, kana oilev kana yered. And Shmuel teaches it, he explains midavlelas, one beam up, one beam down. Rav tani chada, Shmuel tani tarti. Rav learns one thing out of the Mishnah, and Shmuel learns two things out of it. Rav tani chada, sukkah midavlelas, my midavlelas, midoldelas. Rav learns out from our Mishnah, sukkah midavlelas. What is it? He says it's midoldelas. Again, like we said, a poor man's shade, lashon of a poor man's schach, lashon of dal. Shetzi lashon meruba mechamasek sher. He says, Rav says again, it's a poor man's schach, and when would it be kosher? If it has more shade than schach, as long, even if you have a bunch of gaps, as long as 51% is shade, you're good to go. Ushmuel Amar and Shmuel Tani, and Shmuel learns Tarti two things. My midavlelas, he learns out mibulbelas. It is all mixed up. Vitarti Katani, and he learned two things out of the Mishnah. Sukkah mibulbelas kshera. Again, one more thing. The miduldelas, mibulbelas now. Kshera. Done. Now we got both pshat in, the both pshatim in. But Shmuel learned something else out of the Mishnah. Nothing to do with the confused sukkah. And he says another scenario that he learns out of this Mishnah, he basically puts a comma right after sukkah midavlelas, and he says a sukkah that has more shade than sun is also kosher. So one more time, Rav says midavlelas is midoldeles, a poor man's sukkah. Very simple. Rav, poor man's sukkah. Shmuel, midbolbeles, confused, mixed up. That's what it means. Done. Just so happens to be that Shmuel learns two things out of our Mishnah, the beginning of the Mishnah. What two things does he learn out? A confused schach is good. What does it mean confused? That even, and there's the chiddush, even if there's more sunlight than shade, as long as there's more, it's enough staggered to cover the schach, Shmuel says that's good. I hope I didn't confuse you with this extra part. Second thing he learns out of the Mishnah, nothing to do with midbolbeles, nothing to do with midoldeles. He learns out that a sukkah that has more shade than sun is also kosher. So Shmuel learns from our Mishnah two things. Amar Abaya. Abaya says, Loi shanu ela she'im bein zeh lezeh shlosh tefachim. So now, we're going to continue. The Gemara is going to continue, and it wants to understand Shmuel only. Because Rav was very simple, and the Gemara understands it, moves it to the side. Now, what Abaya is coming to say is, Shmuel, according to you that says midbolbeles is kosher, we didn't learn it only she'ein bein zeh lezeh shlosh tefachim. Introducing lavud. Now we want to understand what's lavud, because Rashi says rayan, and rayan means like you see it as if it's one, and that's through the concept of lavud. Like we said, lavud means within 3 tefachim. If something's within, if there's like a gap of less than 3 tefachim, we imagine we're rayan. We imagine as if the gap is full and there's no gap. So. However, Abai is saying that even according to Shmuel, if you had a gap bigger than 3 tefachim, it would be possible. Now comes in Rava, And again, this is only according to Shmuel, the Mibel Belis, the staggered one, not according to Rav, the Middle Delis. Because Rav we understand, and we're done with. Amar Rava says, Afilu yesh bein zel zeh shlesh tvachim, even if there is between these two beams 3 tvachim, nami lo yamaron, nami it would be good. He says it would be good. Lo yamaron, but when would it not be good? El she'im begager tefach, when the upper beam does not have a tefach. Aval yesh begager tefach, ksher would be kosher. Da amrinon chavoit rami. And now Rav introduces this concept of chavoit rami. We tried to explain it a drop. It's sort of chavoit means to lower, and rami is cast into place. But Amir Hashem, on Monday, we're going to start the sugya that it's going to go, and Rav is going to explain from another place the entire concept in a few cases where and what chavoit rami is. But for right now, this was the review, the weekly Rav Chazara. Guys, keep on chazering. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And Amir Hashem, Agit Tavach. And we will see everybody on Monday night.